Welcome in, guys. Good morning, good morning. Thursday, August 28th. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Beautiful, beautiful Wednesday action, not on SPY, but on other names. And we're going to talk about what happened yesterday in the market. Welcome in. Good morning. We have a lot to go over this morning. In fact, we are not even going to do any of our intro stuff. We're just going to dive right into econ data and charts. If you're here, you're here. If you're not here, you're tardy. And that's just what it is. So we're going to dive into it today. Guys, big stuff happening pre-market. Welcome in DJ, Mando, Spliff, Donna, Mando. Welcome, guys. Hope everybody had a nice Wednesday session. Wednesday session, a little bit choppy on the S&P. Again, choppiness in the S&P as the market's sitting at all-time highs. The question is, what do we do today post NVIDIA earnings? Some big market movers in the pre-market session. We have NVIDIA, NVDA. Obviously, a little bit of a rebound. Okay, we had some disappointing earnings come out yesterday. Numbers good, but disappointing earnings on one of their business operations was a little bit lagging. But the rest of the earnings was quite nice. We'll talk a little bit about NVIDIA today. We are also going to go over what's going on today on the Tesla chart. Tesla had some news come out in the after-hour session yesterday, a little bit of a drop and pop on Tesla. Tesla disappointing sales in, I think it was Europe or China. I can't remember where it is. I think it might have been Europe. Disappointing sales in Europe. So obviously you're seeing a little bit of volatility in Tesla this morning. Not good news. It would be a negative catalyst. Yes, Tesla sales in Europe are down as competition with BYD, the Chinese EV manufacturer, causing some obviously competition. Okay, so we'll go over Tesla as well today, being one of our main focal points. We're going to go over AMD. AMD being a runner. This is an interesting stock. It's been consolidating for a while. The question is, does it break consolidation? So we'll talk about AMD in a little bit. We are going to go over. We'll go over Meta. Meta obviously doing nothing. Amazon. We'll go over Apple. Apple was my trade yesterday. Nice, beautiful, right? Just classic Apple action. We got an Apple around here. I'll show you what we did yesterday in Apple. We longed Apple around, it was around over here. We longed Apple in this consolidation, got a little upside move into our day. That was our day. I mean, just a little bit of Apple action. Contracts moved nicely because we got in a little bit before that breakout. So we'll talk about Apple today, what we can do in Apple today. But to be honest with you, I don't see too much on this chart. So without further ado, let's jump into our chart, our econ data, then our charts. Right. So today is Thursday, August 28th. In this morning session, we have really nothing pre-market. I mean, you have Dollar General, Best Buy, TD Bank. That's not what this is about today. What this is about is, let me make my face a little bit smaller. What this is about today is, it's about these big three earnings that we had yesterday. So the big three yesterday, as you guys know, were NVIDIA, you had Snowflake, and you had CrowdStrike. And so NVIDIA obviously down, but then has gotten bought back up almost to where it was yesterday. Still down about 4 points from where we closed at previously. We have Snowflake, SNOW, which is up considerably and right under a major 230 level. And then you have CrowdStrike, CRWD, which has done pretty much nothing. It is very similar to NVIDIA, a little bit down, but has since regained and maintained. And CrowdStrike actually, to me, is an interesting buy. And I'll talk about why CrowdStrike is an interesting buy for a long term. Okay, so besides that, on the earnings reports, nothing else. Econ data, you guys know what the deal is. GDP, jobless claims, and some pending home sales this morning. If you guys want the data, I'm gonna say it very quickly. We had initial jobless claims 229 versus 231K. The estimate was 231. The actual was 229 on jobless claims. PCE, core PCE, 2.5 versus 2.5, so at expectations. And then GDP was 3.3 versus 3.0 estimate, so GDP higher than expected. That is the data for today. Let's move on. Let's talk about charts. Let's dive into the first ticker of today's session, the S&P. Okay. So first of all, still here, 999. Thank you very much. That is very kind of you. That is very, very kind of you. Awesome. Thank you so much. So SPY chart. On the S&P, the S&P chart is obviously a little bit choppy recently, and there's a reason why I've been staying away from SPY the past few days. It's because the market's been making a lot of these big moves during the afternoon sessions, like right before market close, like 3:35, 4 o'clock, or it's been happening in the pre-market or the after hours. A lot of these moves are happening very quickly. You're seeing abrupt moves. You're seeing basically a lot of this happening on the market. You're seeing very quick abrupt moves higher or abrupt moves lower, followed by consolidations. And then there's just no value for a while. And then another abrupt move 4 hours later, followed by consolidations. And there's no way to get entries unless you're in before that abrupt move higher or abrupt move lower. This is difficult price action on the S&P. You look at SPY yesterday and you look into SPY's price action, you see, what did we do yesterday in SPY? We opened right above 644 key level, and then we just kind of grinded higher into 646 and didn't really give us any entries in the S&P. We moved into supply. We stayed in supply, the all-time high supply, for a few hours. In fact, we saw some rejections off the all-time highs. You see a pop above the all-time highs around 3:30, almost 4 o'clock. And then obviously a big pop and then fade. And then we just closed red in the session following the video earnings. And that was our day yesterday. Basically just a tango, a dance with the all-time highs was yesterday's session. That's what it was. It was just a dance with all-time highs. Now, what do we do today's session on the S&P? 646 is that all-time high level, and we know that, right? We know 646 is that all-time high, and we know that's our key pivot moving forward. Today's session, you can kind of see what's happening. You're seeing a little bit of a defense, a little bit of a V-shape off this previous all-time high on the S&P. But the question is, where's our supply? Because if 646 is our previous all-time high, where is our supply on the S&P? We'll zoom out for a second on SPY, zoom out to the 15-minute, you see nothing, and on the 1 hour time frame, you see nothing, and it kind of becomes a little bit difficult to mark out where our supply zone is today. And that's why I'm going to drag in ES for a second, and we'll flip back to SPY. On the ES chart, you can see we have a previous all-time high here from Friday, August 15th. That high is 65.08 almost precisely. That 65.08 is the previous all-time high on the ES chart, and it has become the pre-market high, which we were seeing this morning. 65.08, 65.07 is that key technical level of resistance on the ES chart, the pre-market high. On SPY, the pre-market high is, you can zoom into this for a second, the 4:15 a.m. was 4:15 a.m. high was around 648 and change. Therefore, the supply we have in front of us now on the ES chart, on the SPY chart, is simply just 648 or 65.08 ES. This is your big level today. Big level 1, big level 2. In my opinion, I do not want to get involved on the S&P today in between this zone. This zone is a no trade zone, a $2 DZ graveyard zone, whatever you want to call it. This is the area I do not want to be involved in. Where I want to be involved today is either a continuation play above the 648. And I do think this, if we get above 648, I think that we do move higher, right? And where we move higher to, I think it's going to be obviously it's going to be PDM. So it's a little bit of guesswork here. But if I were to argue and make a logical inference here, I do think that we move to 650 above 648. The reason why I'm saying that is because that's that next psych level. It's also the next major strike price on SPY options. So if you do see us above 648 today, expect us to rally higher into 650. 650 being a big level of resistance. Obviously, it's where I'd expect the market to sort of fail today. 650 would be the profit target for longs above 6. I'm not saying short there, but I am saying if you are long above 648, your PT, your profit target should be 650, right? If you see us under 646, and again, this is PDM, right? This would be a PDM move. Just reiterating that. Obviously, you guys know what that means. If we fail under 646, that yellow band here, I think we move down lower into 644, and we should look for this to retrace back into 644. So you have about a $2 upside play here, a $2 downside play here, and everything in between this area is an area we do not want to be involved in because it's a little bit choppy and we don't know what's going to happen. And the reason why I'm saying that is because look at yesterday's session above 646. It was choppy. It wasn't really clear. We were just bouncing between levels and just kind of playing tennis. Wait for it to clear above 648 upside. Wait for it to clear below 646 downside. I'm not saying you can't play the channel. You could try to play the channel today if you want to look for shorts here, sure, or longs here, sure, you can do that. But for me, where I would get involved if I'm trading trend today is I'm looking for either above these highs or below these lows. Under 646, I do think we move back down into our demand lows here, 644, which would be our highs of Tuesday and the hold spot for Monday and the breakout level from that Friday session. 644 is still a big spot on the market today. Okay, that is what I'm seeing here on the SPY chart. Not so clear, but I tried to make it as clear as possible, and I think we have a really good read here. On the ES chart, you can see this is where we get a much better read. You can see that the supply in front of us is very simply bam right there. That's where it is. You can see top of the supply zone. Wait a second, top of the supply zone. That's where we're at right now, pre-market. We are all time high trading right now. That's what we're doing here on the ES chart. Do you want to F around at all-time highs? Sure, you can, right? But if I'm looking for anything today here in the ES chart, I'm probably looking more for a break and hold above that all-time high spot, 65.08 on the ES chart. Looking for continuation moves and the PDM today back into the next strike price, which would be 6530 here in ES. That's where we'll be targeting that play here on ES if we do break higher. Remember, anything above 65.08, this is important. I'm going to make this very clear. When I say 650 on SPY is target, and when I say 6530 on ES is target, I'm just kind of making things up here. I don't like making things up, but sometimes you have to, right? When you're creating profit targets at previous highs or at uncharted territories, because right now we are simply just in uncharted territories. So be careful, right? Understand that when I say things definitively, like for example, 6508, there's no dispute there, right? That's simply just a level right in front of us. You can all see it. Where there may be dispute is the 6530. What you may see happen is you may see this. You may see us clear above 6508 today, push a high, and then we form a rejection here at 6525, for example, right? And then that's the level. It's no longer 6530. It's no longer a level anymore. And we're looking at this as our key technical level, 6525. Again, we must see what happens today above that PDM. This is where I'm expecting market to make big moves today. Okay, on the Qs. QQQ, you can see we are very much so in channel. You want to know why the market has been a little bit ranged on indices? It's probably because your QQQ is in channel. The Qs are stuck between 575 Qs and 570 Qs. You want to see us do this today. You want to see us either above the 575, in which case you can see a bull rally on the QQQ back into 583, reclaiming a key technical level of resistance, and we move higher in the market. That's scenario one. Scenario two is we continue to reject this level and actually form a head and shoulders here at 575. And we move down lower under 570, break the neckline, back into 566, back into 560. Again, my drawings here are horrible, but the ideas are not, right? The head and shoulders is still the case here in Qs. We spoke about head and shoulders on the QQQ yesterday. We said it on Monday. We said it on Tuesday. We said it on Wednesday. And it's still the case until we are back above 575. If 575 can break here on the QQQ, we could see the reclaim move higher into 580 and 583. But as of right now, we're still under a big level of resistance. And this is a common theme today. You do see the ES 6508, SPY 648, and QQQ 575 all lining up to be a pretty clear resistance zone today. Therefore, if you want to see sustained upside in the market, you want to see us back above these levels. Again, repeating myself, 575 Qs, 648 SPY. I just slapped my mic. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that. 648 SPY and 6508 on the ES chart, okay? That's what it is today here on this chart. Obviously, right, if we can get back below 570 for downside into 566 and 560 and change, this would be your bear case scenario. This would be your bull case scenario today here in Qs. Again, I know this is far-fetched, but this is what I'm expecting going into our Thursday and Friday session, okay? Moving on now, we are going to move on. Let's do speed round. We have a lot of tickers to go over this morning. There is some major market movements, NVIDIA being one of the biggest ones. NVIDIA is in channel though. This is a problem. This is a problem today, right? NVIDIA is back in the channel, and you guys know what the channel is. The channel is simply just 148 resistance and 178.5 demand. That's what it is, right? It's the same thing it was before. Let's look at NVIDIA. Let's do something crazy for a second. And I think this is important because I don't want us to get all caught up. Let's change this chart. We're going to change this chart for a second. And what we're going to do is we're going to change it so we are in regular trading hours right now, and we know the price we're opening at is 181. So 181 is what we're opening at. You can see 181.8 is the price that the stock is trading at right now. And let's put regular trading hours, and you can see the orange line is 181.8. That's where we're trading at right now. And you can really see here that the earnings that we just saw, the little V-shaped craziness, right? It doesn't mean anything. We are just back in the same spot. That's what this is. Here on NVIDIA, nothing has happened. From yesterday's close price into today's opening price, we are opening almost at the same price point, okay? Let's not get caught up on NVIDIA today saying it's gonna go down crazy, it's gonna go up crazy. We just don't know. It's back in the same channel between 184 and 175. If you wanna see continuation of NVIDIA, it doesn't take rocket science to tell us where the continuation is gonna be. It's either gonna be under 178.5 and it's gonna look a lot like this, under 175, break, retest short, downside move. Or it's gonna look like this, a break and hold above 184. If the market starts rallying today, a 184 breakout trade today for an upside move back into 190. Again, NVIDIA is in channel and we must respect the channel until it breaks it. Nothing has changed and therefore we are gonna do nothing on this chart as long as it stays in this range. The range is still channel high, channel low, okay? And for that reason, we are now gonna move on to the next ticker of today's session, which is AMD. And I think AMD is interesting. Why is AMD interesting? Because just like NVIDIA, it is under a key level and it is in channel, but this looks like it's primed for a breakout, okay? Above 169 here on AMD, I've been talking about for a while. If you guys recall, we longed this guy on Tuesday. We got upside on Tuesday. It was a nice trade on Tuesday. Wednesday, yesterday, I said, you know what? I said this, and I said Wednesday, that if we go back and tap 165, I don't like it for longs anymore. So unfortunately, obviously, that did end up holding pretty well. 165 actually did maintain. I was looking for shorts under 165 or longs above 169. 165 held. 165 is still maintaining. Today's session, I am still watching for the 169 breakout. If this happens, I'm looking for a break above that Tuesday high session, that Friday high session, and that level from Tuesday the 19th. You can see here, we have a high produced here, we have a high produced here, and we have a low produced here on that breakdown here in AMD. So if we can get back above 169 today, I think we do get some explosive moves here on this chart. Where do we go to? I think we start to move into these highs over here, right? See these highs over here, 174? 174 is where I'm expecting this to move to above that 169. So keep an eye on AMD today. This is one of my top watches. Okay, we are gonna move on now. Let's move on to some other names. TSM, flashing TSM for a second. No intention of reviewing it, but I just want to see what's going on here. Nothing on TSM. It's pretty much just range bound. Avgo, I'm doing a quick little scan of other tickers today. Avgo, you can see, actually has its own channel here, 300 as a level. This is quite interesting. This actually could be a trade today. Watch this Avgo 300, right? 300 is a big tactical level here in Avgo. You can see the importance of 300. 300 as a major level of channel low, channel low, channel low, channel low, channel high, channel high, channel high, and it is breaking out today. So this could be interesting. Watch Avgo. Keep this in your back burner. But again, I mean, obviously Avgo is one of those low liquidity names. If you do break 300, I think we go back to 310. So this could be one to watch out for. Really 306 and then 310. On the SMH, I mean, this is the level today, and SMH is still 293 and 297. You can still see we're just in channel. We need to break above it. We are starting to break above it right now, but we have to get back above. I would really argue this. SMH needs to not only clear above 297, which it is pre-market, it needs to get it back above that Wednesday's highs. Wednesday's highs is around 299. If it can clear 299, I think there's not a doubt in my mind that if it clears 299, that this goes into 303. So if we do clear this 299, very likely this goes to 303. So watching that today in SMH, that could be a top watch today, is semis. If semis get strong, and that would be carried by a 299 break here in SMH, then we can trade Avgo, we can trade AMD longs, we can trade NVIDIA longs, right? But you want to see these things happen together, right? SMH clears 299, AMD clears 169, NVIDIA clears 175 or 174, right? Those are the big things to happen today, which causes the upside rally. And you want to see a QQQ break today, you want to see tech clear highs. You're not going to get tech clearing highs if you don't have semis participating in this rally. Okay, so these are the things I'm watching today. I think it's really important to keep an eye on it. Tesla. Tesla has a little bit of some downside news this morning in the pre-market session. So Tesla news in Europe. You guys saw some competition with BYD. I think it was like a 35% drop in sales. So obviously not good news on Tesla's chart. The question is, what can we do here today? On the Tesla chart, and by the way, I want to take a quick pause. How many likes do we have? We have 368 likes with 995 viewers, which means I'm at 35% basically. Guys, get the like count up. That's the only thing I ask for. I'm here every single morning giving you guys exactly what I'm planning to do. I think it deserves some likes. So like if you guys can. Takes 2 seconds, okay? Takes 1 second actually. On the Tesla chart, you can see Tesla is just bound, okay? It's bound between 355 and 344. I think Tesla could be one to trade today. I know obviously there's some news on Tesla. I just don't know where to trade it, right? Just transparently, I just don't know. If above 350 bullish, below 350 bearish, that's my mindset here. So for me, I'm going to adjust my level 350 and that's my pivot. This is my simple pivot, right? My pivot is simply just using Wednesday's lows and then Monday's highs. So why am I saying I don't know? I'm saying I don't know because I don't have enough data to make that assessment yet. If we are back above 350, then I know. I know we're going higher and we should move higher into 355. So that's the first watch I'm looking for today is Tesla builds over the Wednesday's lows and the Monday's highs, and I think we can move higher back into 355. If we fail back below 350 today and we see us begin to reject here our 350 with conviction, then we likely move back into 344, and that's a short side play. So basically everything you do today on Tesla is based upon the gauge of 350 being your bull bear pivot. If we are above the 350 bull bear pivot, we're bullish. If we're below 350, then obviously you are bearish, moving back down into 344. So again, Tesla, big pivot here, news in the pre-market after hour session. Let's watch it today. I think this could be a solid intraday scalp, okay? Moving on. Let's move on to Apple. So Apple, we traded this yesterday. We said we were gonna watch Apple and we did, right? Apple above 230 was a key break. We actually longed Apple a little bit before the breakout just because yesterday's session was very low liquidity before NVIDIA earnings. So I ended up getting some exposure here around this, you can see around 229.6. If we added some more around 229.5, it moved to 230.8 and change. And this was a nice trade yesterday's session. A little bit of just a break and retest trade above that 230. You can see technically the real break and retest happened right here, right? On the break of 230, the retest of 230, and you did get some upside above 230. But again, it was very short-lived. Short-lived because we had a lot of names reporting earnings in this session's after hours, which caused the market to not really give you much continuation. Okay, and this is also indicative of Apple. This is also indicative of what happens during a market that's trading at all-time highs. When the market's trading at all-time highs, you get a lot of trades like this. You get a lot of like breakout trades above your resistance levels, 230, and it kind of breaks, it works for you, but then it fails, right? So you have to be in and out on these type of trades, okay? So let's move on. We're gonna go over next ticker. Let's go over Amazon. Amazon chart. On the Amazon chart, I'm also watching Amazon today. Amazon, I'm still watching that same 230 level. You can see 230 as a big pivot. 230 has become a major level on this chart. If 230 can build an Amazon, I'm watching it for longs back into 234 and change. Initially watching it to 232. You can see 232 is the highs of that Monday session, and then above 232 back into 234. So today I'm looking for the break and retest trade here, above 230, upside back into these highs. That's the only thing I'm watching here in Amazon. Only watching longs here. If you can get back with these highs, looking for longs there. Very simple chart. Keep this on your docket today, okay? Moving on, let's move on to some other tickers. Let's go over Palantir, PLTR. On the PLTR chart, Mike yesterday was talking about this, and you can see he's right? Look at the chart. This is a beautiful trend line. This is what he was talking about, a little bit of a daily trend line. You can see the daily trend line here in Palantir, and you can see that this chart is still failing a major level. Now, we spoke about 161 being your bull bear pivot, and on Palantir, You saw it yesterday that it actually still is your level, right? 161 is your bull bear pivot. You saw us try to break above it Wednesday session, but what did we do Wednesday? What told you Palantir was flipping back bearish? Well, look at the chart for a second. For the first 5 minutes of the session of market open on Palantir, it showed you, hey, hold on a second. We had a highs here produced Tuesday around 161. We failed right beneath it, retested the level, almost perfectly retested it, 50 cents off of the retest, downside move. This is why we trade levels, because levels give you everything you need to know about the chart. This was a bull chart at the open and then flipped bearish very quickly. And that, to me, is some of the best trades are a bull bear flip, right? The bull bear flips being it opens bullish, right, where everyone longs Palantir pre-market, longs it after hours, longs into close, and then it fails below your technical level into market open, first 5 minutes of market open, and it gives you that beautiful opening drive, break me to short downside play. Call it an orb, call it a break and retest, call whatever you want, but as long as Palantir is under 161, it is bearish. 161 is your key technical level of resistance, and at this moment, if you're looking for shorts on Palantir, you're looking for this. You're looking for a pop and fade 161 for a downside move. That's all this is here in Palantir, okay? 161, bull bear pivot. Let's continue to watch this today's session, okay? Google. On the Google chart, Google you can see is consolidating over 206. I actually think this is still bullish right now. I know it's a bit far-fetched because the market is at all-time highs, but you can still see you have a 206 break and retest still happening. We traded this, I think, on Monday. I think Monday, I can't remember when we traded this, to be honest with you. I really don't. My memory is shot, but you can see this is still a beautiful little bull flag above our resistance zone. Resistance here at 206, demand 206, demand here at 206, and we were setting up for a bull flag break here above 206. I think this can go back to 210. I mean, let's see what happens here on Google if you want to get spicy today. Look for, if you want to get spicy today, trade Google longs or you trade Tesla longs above your reclaim level. That's what it is, right? That's what it is. Or you look for shorts under 250 today in Tesla. These are the spicy tickers. The spicy tickers are going to be Google and Tesla. The reason why I'm saying they're spicy is because it's a little bit higher risk, right? A little bit higher risk, a little bit volatile, right? And you just don't know exactly yet. But if you do, once you get the data, you can make some really good trades here. And I think right now, Google is fully bullish as long as they're above 206. Look for longs above 208. If you can reclaim 208, look for longs back in 210. That could be a scalpable trade today. And obviously Tesla, you know what I'm talking about, okay? So let's move on. I feel like we're going fast today. Why are we going so fast? We're going fast, right? I could take a breather. Let me take a breather. Spam your tickers, guys. You can spam now. I'll let you guys go crazy. Spam your tickers. I'll go through what I can. I don't think I'm going to be here tomorrow, guys. I think tomorrow I'm going to take off. I've had a really good week. I'm going on a little bit of vacation this weekend, so I'm probably not going to be here Friday. We'll see. Like the chances of live, probably 5%. 9 o'clock. I think we went over like an insane amount of tickers today. Maybe I had too much caffeine this morning. Probably what it is. All right, so everyone's spamming IWM and INTC and CMG, SPX. Not going to go over SPX. BABA, JPM. All right. All right, a little bit of a breather. I feel like definitely moving fast today. So let's go over it. Let's go over as much as we can. Let's do INTC. INTC. So INTC at this moment, I longed INTC. Oh, CrowdStrike. We have to do CrowdStrike. I think you guys should watch CrowdStrike. I think CrowdStrike is something we should keep on a watch today. Well, not today, but for long term. I'll explain. But INTC. INTC right now, I longed INTC here. This is where I longed INTC. I took some trims here. And I have a stop loss here. That's what I'm doing, okay? What I want to see happen on INTC is I want to see INTC go back to, I'll show you my drawing here, 37. I know it's crazy, but that's where I want to see this go back to. If it can clear 27, I think it goes into 30, gap fill, and then above 30, it goes into 37. So I am watching this to build higher. My stop is simply just 23. That's what it is for me here on INTC. I don't care where this goes anymore. Once I made money on a trade, I know I care, but I'm going to hold this now, right? My stop is placed out above my entry price. We spoke about INTC for a while. I told you guys where I was buying INTC. I told you before I bought INTC, and now it's moving up. We're up $3 per share. I want to see this back above 27. If it clears 27, we'll be up a lot per share. So watching INTC above 27 for longs, back into 30, back into 37. Okay. CrowdStrike. I think CrowdStrike is an interesting one. Why is CrowdStrike so interesting? Take a second right now, and I want to just zoom into this chart, and I want you to see on the 4-hour chart here what's going on here on CrowdStrike. Look at this daily 200 SMA. The blue line's the daily 200 SMA. Is this a spot where we can build some shares here on CRWD? I think the answer is yes. I'm going to watch this, right? I'm watching this for a long entry with the hold above the daily 200 SMA. Trend line, little downward trend line. If this can hold this daily 200 SMA here at 407, I'm looking for longs. So top watch on CrowdStrike for new long-term positions is right here. So let's see what happens. I'm not in yet, full disclosure, but I will likely get a fill on this soon. Okay. Keep an eye on it. WFC, yeah, holding 77. That's your key level. IWM. Someone was talking about IWM today in the chat. I saw someone talking about IWM in the stock chat today. 231.5 is your break retest level. If we're above that, we're bullish. Where we're going to probably go into 243. I think the Russell's hot. I think small caps are hot. So this could be a nice play on that IWM. But to be honest with you, I really like crowd. Right? I really want to see if we can get some crowd positions. I think crowd's really interesting. So I'm excited to see what we can do today on CRWD. Guys, that's it. I think we can call it there. Nice relaxing Thursday morning. It's August 28th. We've had a great week. Hopefully everybody's had a great week. It's been a great week so far. I think Monday was good, Tuesday good, Wednesday good. Let's just finish off the week strong. That's my mindset, right? And even if you're trading Thursday, Friday, like just take it easy, right? If you had a good week so far, take it easy. Don't give back all your gains Thursday and Friday. The worst thing you can do is give back the hard work that you put in the first 3 days this week, right? Do the right thing, manage your accounts, and I'll see you guys all for live trading. Bye, guys.